New Caledonia's nickel industry is once again under the spotlight, with one of its mines set to be mothballed in the coming days. Mining giant Glencore announced on Monday it has decided to put its Koniambo nickel mining operation in the Northern Province into care and maintenance status, and further seek to sell its 49% stake in the company, which has accumulated a staggering $14 billion in losses over the past 10 years. In a release from its Swiss headquarters, the Anglo-Swiss company announced the transition would involve keeping the furnaces hot for the next 6 months as it looks to initiate a process to identify a potential new industrial partner for the mining and processing site. Patrick de Cloyter from RNZ's French Pacific desk has been following developments, and he spoke with Koroi Hawkins, who began by asking for some background on the mine.
Okay, we're talking about the Koniambo nickel mine, which is the only one of the three major mines in New Caledonia, which is located in the north of the main island. And that makes it also a very symbolic mining site to be affected by such a drastic measure, because when the Noumea Accord, the political accord regarding New Caledonia's political future, was signed in 1998, there was another accord that was signed just a few months earlier, and that was actually a precondition to the Noumea Accord. It was called the Bercy Accord because Bercy is the site of the French Ministry of Finance, and it sort of acted the transfer of this huge nickel reserve of Koniambo to political province in the north part of New Caledonia. So it made it a very emblematic measure on the side of the French government at that time. The whole idea was to what they called rebalance the New Caledonian economy between the south, which is perceived as much more wealthy, and the north, which is where most of the Kanak population lives and is less favored.
Now, the mining question obviously is a venture between the province and Glencore ex-Tata. Is that correct? And it's Glencore that is looking to sell its shares.
Yeah, what's happening now, like I was saying, in actual fact, Koniambo mining site in the northern province started to operate about 10 years ago, and the latest foreign partner to Koniambo, which is majority owned by the northern province, it started to operate sometime in 2013, and what Glencore has now decided as the major financier to this whole operation was that the losses that it had accumulated over the past 10 years were no longer sustainable, basically for the share of their shareholders. Because we're talking in terms of losses for the last 10 years we're talking about something like 14 billion euros, which would make it even more if you're talking about US dollars.
And this week we've had some developments in this vein. What's happened this week?
So what has happened this week was like the writing on the wall, because if you remember a few months ago, we've already been talking about the fact that Glencore was warning that they would no longer take part in the Koniambo mining site by the end of February, which is now. Yeah, they were threatening to withdraw from Koniambo if no acceptable solution was found, either with the local stakeholders, the northern province, or as it turned out more recently with the French government. And the French government has really been trying apparently very hard to convince Glencore to stay on board. But it turned out that things didn't go that way.
Right. And so is the mine currently working? Is it being put out of operation? What's happening with the mine?
Well, this is what's going to happen in the next few days, if we believe what has been announced on Monday by Glencore. It will be a gradual, like putting the whole operation to standby mode. They call it care and maintenance mode, but the initial period for that is going to be for the next at least 6 months, during which everyone will be trying to find somebody to take over the shares currently owned by Glencore. They've also kind of reassured that the 1,300 employees will keep receiving their salaries for the next 6 months. But this is not going to be the case for the other 600 workers or people who work for subcontractors on the mining site. And for them, it looks like the deadline would be much shorter, like within 1 month. They won't be getting any more salaries from its activities at Konyambo.